Thank you so much all for joining, for showing your interest in this particular topic. This is very dear topic for our team actually, and thanks for showing your interest and you know finding time for this particular session. So a little background of ourselves: we are Incquet Solutions. We are a Zoho Creator partner as well from last 5 years, and we have been into Zoho Creator community from last 7 years actually. And we have been specialized in implementing custom CRM and ERP solutions on Zoho Creator specifically, and also provided integration with rest of the Zoho stack. We use Catalyst and widgets to extend the capabilities of Zoho apps and all that kind of thing. A little background about me. I'm a proper tech person, you can say. I'm from a software engineering background. I started as a front-end developer in a startup in Mumbai, in India, and there they were using Zoho Creator extensively to automate end-to-end process of their company. Actually, there it was around in 2015 actually, and there I got to know about Creator, and we use Creator very extensively. And finally, I utilized my tech background and creative knowledge to provide this particular service to automate the business of all around the world through freelancing. So I got into freelancing from there. There I set up and got my team, and eventually we started Incquet. And in last 7 years actually, we have implemented 100 plus custom CRM and ERP solutions for 10 plus industries from client around 20 plus countries. And one of the widget which we made for one of our client actually won the Innovator of the Year award as well, which we'll also cover in our session. Okay, so let's go through the agenda for today. Mostly it is around the possibilities of JavaScript widget in Zoho Creator. Mainly we'll start with what and why of JavaScript. So what is, you must all be aware about what is the JavaScript widget. I think some of you have extensively built something, so you must be aware of why you use JavaScript widget mostly. We'll showcase some of the widget we have made and from different department, and what benefits we received from that particular widget actually, and what further idea that gives regarding the capabilities of widget. So you'll get to know about this. So we'll showcase few of the widget which is possible in this particular session. Some of them are live demos, some of them are recorded sessions. So we'll try to make the demonstration smooth. Once that is done, we'll showcase the brief, not the detail behind the scene, but the brief behind the scene, that what is the general formula behind those particular widget, what has to be considered, what not to be considered, and stuff like that. All right. And finally, the limits of widget, when at what particular point you should not use or use it with particular limits, what are the limits and what are the things you should be known if you are planning to build a widget for Creator. And the final thing is the exciting thing actually. Our team have developed a widget called IQ Assistant. We'll be demoing that in the end. And this is a special one because it actually is sitting on the train of that ChatGPT trend actually. So we have tried to utilize the application of ChatGPT inside a business application, and with the texture of voice assistant actually. So you can actually talk to that particular widget and it will talk you back by searching answer from GPT actually, something like that. But a more practical use cases there which we have found, which is helping some of our client as well. So we'll try to demonstrate that, and we'll also at the end we'll share a link where you can actually submit your details if you're interested, and it can it will eventually give you an access to try that particular widget out. Right. And final QA. Right. So this is the agenda. Let's get started with the first thing, which is on mind. What is a JavaScript widget? What is a JavaScript widget? So for one who are already familiar with Creator and not familiar with widget, I'll just explain you in simple terms. A widget is just an web application built on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which actually interacts with your Creator database using the Zoho JavaScript SDK actually. So this combination of a web application which uses the Zoho JavaScript SDK to interact with your Creator app and render it in a custom web application, which actually solves a particular purpose and render data in a custom way. This web application is called as widget. It's just simple as that. It's just a web application which uses Zoho JavaScript SDK to communicate with your Zoho application actually, and the whole thing run within your Zoho Creator page. So you whatever the application you will be developing, once you deploy that to the Zoho server or an external server, it is open as or embedded within the Zoho Creator page when you drag and drop it through a panel actually. So that particular thing is a widget. In simple terms, it's just a web application which uses Zoho JavaScript SDK to communicate with Creator actually. And why to use widget? So this is also for those who are actually just hearing the term widget and just want to know why to use this and what particular point you use this. I'll explain the points, as well as I'll also show you an actual use case why we in our company use the widget. So the first point is to elevate the visual experience, because you are fetching the data from Creator, and now the front end is in your control how you want to render that particular data. And the most important thing is to make the page interactive, so you don't have to refresh the page to see the latest data or the new component or something like that. So for that kind of interaction, to make the visual experience more appealing and better, you use widget. It's not like that for elevating the visual experience you always have to use widget. You can elevate the user experience using CSS and Bootstrap and such kind of UI library as well. You can do that, but the thing where it limits is the interaction part, where if you need to do some kind of DOM manipulation inside the page, inside of the Creator page, if you want to do any kind of DOM manipulation, you have to reload the page. It means you have to actually refresh the page, then you will be able to show the new data and stuff like that. So mostly the user experience enhancement, the page interaction, that is the main thing why you use the widget. The second most important thing is to implement a missing feature which is there inside Zoho Creator. So for example, in our case, chat feature was not there inside Zoho Creator. So using the other workaround and combination was not working perfectly in our case. So in that particular case, we use Zoho Creator widget to create a chat application using which user of Zoho Creator can interact with the customer stored inside Zoho Creator directly through that particular widget. So that is the second point actually, to create a missing feature. Third is to mix Creator with anything cool you found on the internet actually, because since it is a web application, if you're having any kind of JavaScript SDK which is solving a particular problem which you find is useful in Zoho sense, you just mix it and create a web app out of it and create a widget out of it actually. This is just a brief perspective from my side. You'll see many definition of why to use it, and when you'll see some of the presentation or demo which we have done, you'll get the clear idea of actually why and at what particular point to use it. I'll share one of the example actually why we in our application use this. So we as a software company, that, and all of the partner, you must be using some kind of task management tool. So might be using Zoho projects and Zoho books combination, something like that. We initially were dependent on Trello. We use Trello much more, and then logging the task there and then creating an invoice somewhere was getting very hectic. So we eventually created our own custom ERP for agency. For software agency, which was handling the task management, the task logging, as well as the invoice generation in a single place. So the whole team got more organized using this actually. So, but using this was very hard because here the kind of speed you're getting in Trello, you're not getting that here actually. Here the Kanban view which is there inside Creator, this side. The Kanban which is just provided inside Creator, it doesn't expand. If you want to get some detail, it will take some time to load that particular fetch details and all that kind of thing. That was not working from speed point of view and for efficiency point of view from our side. My team preferred Trello once again, and they were again going back to Trello and using that particular thing. So once the JavaScript widget feature got launched, I think in at the end of 2018 or something like that for Creator, we just got ourselves into that, and we tried to uh, fetch or replicate or create whatever feature we thought was missing here actually, which was the custom Kanban view. Because here what we wanted is we wanted this card to be expanded. The Kanban view which Creator provide, it doesn't expand, so we wanted this card to expand. We wanted a quick addition of subtask. So if this is a task and there is a subtask inside that particular task, we have to edit that particular task, open the form, then add one more task and two more tasks and something like that, and then carry on. Likewise, when we have to make a status update of the subtask, like I have to make a subtask done, I have to again edit this particular task, go in the form, mark it done, and then submit. Such kind of thing was actually hindering the usage of this particular thing, this tool. That's why what we have done is, once the widget feature got into a picture, we eventually replicated or created all the feature we were liking from all other tools like Zoho, like Trello, like Zoho projects. There was a Kanban tool somewhere else. So consolidated all the features we were like, and we replicated that here and created a custom Kanban view widget here, which actually won the Zoho Creator Innovator of the Year award as well actually. So you can see that I'll also present the whole thing, but just to give you a side-by-side comparison, we can actually expand the task as well. And when we are expanding, you can see I can actually distribute the task as well. Actually, you can see that I can distribute the detail within that particular card. So I can see the subtask in a separate tab, logs, info in a separate tab. I can quickly do multiple things, which I'll show just in some time. So likewise, this particular thing gave us the opportunity. So Creative Widget actually gave us the tool to scratch our itch, which we were getting there at that particular point. And that is what we have done here actually. So you see this kind of Kanban view was there inside Creative first, and now this is what we have created for ourselves using the widget. So here we can quickly go there, add a task, assign a developer, choose a milestone, and once that is done, I can quickly go there, expand the task, and add a subtask. And while I'm talking to the client or the team or something like that, I can quickly do that, and it will open up. It will quickly add that subtask here. At the same time, the main thing which we wanted here was the ability to track time on real-time basis. And that is what we were able to do here. So once my team is starting this particular thing, they just click on play and start, and this starts tracking the time on real-time basis. Actually, even you refresh it, it continues the time logger. And once you're done with this, you can actually choose what particular task you have worked on, and who was the developer, and all that kind of thing, and hit submit. And this actually logs that particular time in that particular widget. So it has actually pushed from pending to in progress for that particular task actually. That was one of the thing. And you can see the card expansion. This was the main feature which we wanted our Kanban view to have. We can expand a task, then we can see all the subtasks in a particular tab. We can see all the logs which we have done in a particular tab. And if there is any information, extra information provided, I can see that as well actually. And we can work on subtasks very quickly. So here, if a task is completed, subtask is completed, I'll just click here and mark it as done, and it will be done here. I don't have to go there, edit that particular task, then it will open up the whole form and then do my activity on the subtask level. I don't have to do that. That saved a lot of time here for our team, and that increases the usability of the whole system. Actually, now the whole team are actually adding the task here, adding the logs here, and in a single click I'm able to generate the invoices directly from here. So this was all, the practicality of the system increased due to the ease of usage of this particular whole tool, which this widget has provided as such. Right. So this was the main reason why we tried out widget and implemented something for ourselves, which has benefited us a lot of in the whole scenario. So this is the why of the widget. I think you have understood that the need, what was the problem which we trying to solve, what was the gap which we tried to fill, and finally how we filled that particular gap using the custom widget. This was the what and whys of the widget. I have already demonstrated the IQ Kanban, which we have recently. Yeah, so it is actually using. So I'll show talk about the technology as well in the end of the session. But thanks for putting your questions here. So these are mostly the different kind of widget which we have worked on, and more are in the pipeline as well. I'll be happy to show you some of them. I'll be able to show you some. I have already shown you the Kanban. We'll start with the IQ chat first, then we'll go on to the POS, then IoT, and finally we'll end with the IQ assistant. And after each demo, you can totally push your questions. We can have a pause session where you can directly ask the question about that particular widget before we proceed to the next one. All right. Sure. So the IQ chat widget, as you know, from the name only, actually you can understand that this is a widget which provides which fill the missing functionality of chat inside Zoho Creator. So Creator doesn't have the inbuilt chat functionality so that you can chat with your customer directly from Creator. You have to use Click or another tool in a particular segregated format or workaround or a kind of bundle, but to facilitate some kind of interaction. But here, the requirement we were getting from a lot of clients actually, and the thing which we have implemented mainly in this particular thing was the user can actually invite the customer which you have stored within your Zoho Creator application. So in a single click, you can invite them. They will get a link and they will be able to join that particular chat which your staff has initiated from the Creator app. And you have the direct access with your client from the chat which is opening within your Creator application actually. And this feature gives a great opportunity and possibility for all kind of businesses to directly have a real-time chat bridge or communication line between your client and your CRM whenever you want. So I'll show you the actual demo in a second, but these are the kind of features which has actually covered this particular widgets. So this is what IQ chat looks like. And once you log in, what it does is these are all the clients or chats which are already invited to IQ chat. To invite a new client, you just click on plus, and you will be able to see all the clients which you have stored in your Creator database. Actually, you can directly search from here, click on invite, and it will actually send them an invitation over their email, which they can join, and they will be able to open the chat in a view, something like this. So once they click on that particular link, it will ask them to log in, and once they log in, you will have a clear. This is the client which I've actually invited. So this is the staff view or the admin view, you can see, and this is the customer view. So the user can directly, the staff has the direct access to your client, which was stored inside his Zoho Creator app. So you can say from here, and he will receive that particular message on real-time basis, and whatever he is replying. the staff will be able to receive that particular reply without even refreshing the page or something like that. So this is the real-time communication which has been built between the creator app and the client using the widget which we are calling as IQ Chat. So that was the main functionality of bridging the gap by providing a real-time chat. Because before the widget, how we used to do is we used to provide such kind of UI, but the chat was not real-time. You can actually send a message and on submit it will save that particular message in a create a form somewhere, and then send an email to the client which he can reply, and once he reply it saves that back, but it doesn't refresh automatically. It has to be reloaded and all that kind of thing. Once the widget, the JavaScript get enabled for creator, we actually use a custom chat engine and provided this particular interface for both sides, the admin side and the client side. And now this is actually connected on real-time basis. So this can be also embedded inside your portal as well. So if you're having a portal, you can actually use a portal, the embed version of this particular thing, and use it inside the portal. And you can actually, your staff can actually talk with the portal user directly from the user using this particular widget. So that is the main functionality and purpose was of this particular widget. The next more best thing which we are actually trying to achieve is showing the information about this particular client when the staff is actually talking to that particular client. Suppose here for this particular client, I'm having some kind of invoices, orders, and all that kind of thing. He's talking about a particular invoice or order. I can quickly click on this particular side icon and we'll be able to find all the information related to that particular client in a single click. I can click on there, fetch the information, and share it here. So in this particular manner, the customer support within creator and applications related to customer support, ticket management, all kind of thing becomes very effective and practical if we use a real-time connection, something like this actually. So this is the widget which was built on for Zoho Creator, which is called IQ Chat. So the next best thing which we are actually very excited about is the IQ POS widget, which is the short for point of sale widget. And IQ, we are having IQ in all of our name, which is short for Incquet actually. All right. So what the main purpose of this particular widget was to provide the last mile of you can say connectivity for the order management kind of application. Suppose you're having a client who is actually taking their orders from the customer from a billing counter, and have or need or desperately need a kind of POS system, something like this, where he can actually bill the customer directly when they are in the line, and then whatever they're billing, it gets stored inside their CRM or ERP. That is the most important thing which is needed in a order management kind of thing. Right. Here inside, if we have made a application on Zoho Creator, and you are actually kind of fulfilling that particular part, like you have created an order form which is actually fulfilling that particular part of taking orders from the client, but that order form is not so practical, because you are what you are doing is you are kind of when your customer is in the line and you have to take their order, you will open the creative form first. You will search for the product which he wants, then add it to the line items, and likewise you do that all that manually, and which actually makes it non-practical to use at the billing counter at the customer end. And for there, something like this is mostly needed actually. So to solve that particular bridge, to bridge that gap, what we have done is we are kind of created a replacement for this POS system actually. And how we are doing this is the desktop will use the creative web application which you are having, and instead of scanner, you will just use mobile application, and they both are real-time connected with each other. So whenever you scan something, some product, it will actually scan and put it in your card inside Zoho Creator, and then you can use that to add an order actually. So I'll just demonstrate that particular thing in a second. So you can see this is the Creator POS application where this is the widget which we are working, which is working right now. And here in the POS tab, you can see all the cards which is open right now, right? These are all the cards which is open, and this is the mobile view or mobile version, you can say, of the POS scanner, which actually has POS opened via web tab actually, right? And this is the mobile I'm showing you on real time actually. So what you use is I'm also having. So what I'll demonstrate is we are having some products here in the database, and each of the product are having their own SKU, right? Their own SKU and their own QR code, something like this. So whenever a customer comes with a particular product, the product will have that particular QR code embedded on that particular product. It has to be there. And once the customer comes with that particular product, what you will do is you'll just open the POS module here inside Creator, and you will open the POS module from your mobile. Go to the POS module, and here you will be able to see the cards which are open here in your tab. So just choose a particular cards. For example, for this particular customer, I want to use this card too. You choose a card, and you will just scan the product which you are having. So you see, once you're scanning that particular product, it is automatically on real-time basis pushing that into the Creator app. And just for this is the web application which is open on your computer, and this is the mobile application which is running on your mobile actually. So you see, whenever you are actually going to a particular, whenever in the billing counter, the customer comes with a particular product, it has a QR code, you will go there, scan the QR code, and it will quickly and instantaneously will be visible on your screen, which we are using for billing actually. So you can do that with rest of the product. And once you have done the scanning, you can do the rest of the thing directly from your computer actually. So you can increase or decrease the quantity, right? You can also remove a particular product if you want. And once you're done with the playing with the quantity and finalizing the stuff which he wants to buy, you can just click on the plus button, the done button. And what it will do is it will fetch all the details which you have already scanned and create an order for you, or prefill an order for you actually. And what you need to do is you just need to select a particular customer. If he is the new customer, just create a new customer from here. Provide a particular email ID if you want. Submit. And the last thing which you need to do is, if you want to provide some discount and all that kind of thing, the final thing which you can do here. If you want to change the product directly from here, you can do as well. And once submit, it will directly create the order directly inside Creator, and you can see or review the product order directly from here. You see, so it has actually solved the last mile delivery problem which you were having. It has enabled you to scan your product using a mobile app. So it has actually reduced the need of the whole infrastructure which is needed at the billing counter. Now you can actually utilize the Zoho Creator application at your billing counter and use the mobile as a scanner and utilize the POS system for your order management tool actually. And it is not like you have to install the whole application. This is just the widget which needs to be installed here, and it can be integrated with your rest of the application actually. You just have to provide in what particular form you're storing the product, what your form you're storing the orders, and all kind of thing. So that is the main purpose of the IQPOS, and this is the main problem we're solving. Apart from that, there is also a standalone version. So if you want to scan a particular product directly from your computer, you can click on this particular icon, and it will open the mobile camera, and you can directly show your product directly from here, and it will scan that particular product and add it to your cart directly from here. So this is the main problem which IQPOS system is solving actually. Apart from that, this is the, and just to give you a brief background, this this is a successor of one of our other widget, which is called as IQ Scanner. And the most important things which is provide the facility or ability to search, to scan multiple items at once and submit to the creator in a single API. So it is not like, so as compared to using this with a creator app, when you scan a particular item from a creator app, it scans and it has to submit a particular form. So there is a loading time and there is something like that. So due to that, actually, you can't scan 100 or 200 items using the native creator app. Actually, you need something which can take care of scanning first and then submitting sign. So this is what the IQ Scanner was providing. It is providing the ability to scan everything which you want, and once you have the whole list, then it is giving you the option to submit actually. And once you submit, it all actually calls the Zoho JavaScript API to submit that particular data, and then it runs the rest of the workflow actually. So that was the main purpose of IQ Scanner, which we applied in IQPOS. And likewise, it can be further applied in multiple industries. You can say from inventory management, it can be used for stock checking, rechecking, and all that particular purpose. For logistics, we can use it for container unloading, container loading, and that kind of thing, because we have actually received this kind of request from a client who has to load 200 or 300 items in a go from container, and he was using Creator to load that particular container or unloaded item actually. So his team has to note that in a particular paper or sheet, then upload that particular sheet inside Creator. It was not real time. The team sometimes takes day, 2 day, or multiple days to load that particular thing, and the data was not visible on real time actually. Now using this, they can actually utilize this at the ground floor, at the actual place, and scan it, and on submit it will push that particular thing inside Creator. So it makes your Creator app more practical, where it was lacking before actually. So this was the presentation for IQPOS.
So right now it looks like that when you create the order, the cart still exists.
Yeah.
Or is that just in like the sandbox version, or would the cart disappear when you successfully create an order, or would this be so that you could?
Right now we have not handled that particular part. It can be handled in any way actually. If you are passing a cart ID, we can actually destroy that particular cart once the order is created successfully. And right now we have kept it manually actually. Cool. So that was the overall impact which IQPOS is trying to create and solve. I hope everyone realize the potential of this particular thing and try to visualize the use case for their app actually.
I think what you mentioned specifically about being able to limit the number of API calls that you have to make, I think is a particularly big benefit of what you've shown us here, is that streamlining and simplifying, less page loading and reloading to deal with, I think is a huge time saver. So thank you for that.
Glad you identified that particular potential actually. So the next big thing, actually, this was a hobby project of ours, which we finally embedded inside Creator, which is the IQ IoT, which is short for Incquet IoT. It is a bridge we have provided between your ERP, which is built on Zoho Creator, and your IoT device, which is there somewhere actually. So you must be familiar with an IoT device. What is it is actually? So it is short for Incquet Internet of Thing, which is just an electronic device which is connected to internet, which is actually sharing the data from the device which is generated. It means the data which is generated from the device, it is actually pushing it to the internet, and vice versa. Actually, it is checking commands from the internet to operate and all that kind of thing. And it is widely used in the manufacturing industry and industries a lot. But it has no direct connection with their ERP. and that can have sometimes consequences, because in most of the cases, if there is an IoT device which is actually capturing some sensor data, some important data, and it has captured some particular issue which is affecting your ERP. uh, so that needs to have a direct connection via bridge or something like that, which is not there for Zoho Creator right now. So that we have actually tried to solve here and try to implement here. In short, what we are doing is there is an I'll demonstrate this particular thing as well, but just to before starting the actual demonstration, I'll just give you a brief overview of what we are looking for. You can see in the device, there is a device which we are having here at our office, or you can consider for manufacturing. In the when the machine is running, there is an IoT device attached to that particular machine, and it is constantly reading some temperature and humidity and everything like that regarding that particular machine. And if that particular thing goes beyond a certain limit, goes beyond a certain threshold, then it has to actually send some trigger within your Zoho Creator application, so that you can take some important steps inside Zoho Creator application actually. So that you will be able to achieve using this particular widget. This is what we are doing here. This is what we are doing in this particular video. So you see there is an IoT setup which we have done using a simple Node MCU. You can use Arduino or something like that here. The Node MCU is connected to some output devices and some input devices. So here there are some sensor here. There is an humidity and temperature sensor you can see here, which is connected to this IoT device, and it is also connected to some output device like buzzer, LED light, or something like that. So in a real case scenario, you can consider this as as a system where it is attached to your machine, where it is reading the temperature and humidity of your machine continuously, and it is attached to the output machines. It is controlling the machine directly from here as well. So if you are switch on or switch off that particular light, it will eventually, you can consider that instead of the light, your machine is connected, or some other working unit is connected to that particular machine, actually, that particular IoT device. And you can directly do that by achieving some relay circuit and attach a bigger machine as well to this particular device as well. So what it does is it is actually connected to our IoT database, which eventually is connected to Creator. So what is happening is you will get something like this, something like this. Just a second. You'll get a view something like this inside. So this is the widget IQ IoT widget, which is loaded inside Creator. It has two options. One is the control panel, and one is the real-time data monitoring tool. So what it does is it provides the admin to control the devices which is linked to your IoT device actually. So you can see here, if you go and if I'll just turn on the LED light directly from here, you will be able to see that the light has actually turned on into the IoT device as well actually. So likewise, you can do the similar thing. You can operate or control multiple of such kind of devices directly from Creator. You can operate the buzzer as well directly from Creator. And what happens is this was the control part, where you can turn on and turn off a device directly from Creator. Likewise, this particular part you can see at the bottom is a real-time monitoring device, or it is actually reading the data from this particular sensor, which is reading the humidity and temperature, and it is real-timely showing that particular data here inside your Zoho Creator. Right. So here, what we have done is we have put a threshold of 45. So whenever the humidity will go beyond 45, it is critical for the staff to know that this has happened, and it should actually trigger some emails to the staff, which are stored inside Zoho Creator or something like that. As well as it should create a log inside Zoho Creator, which will enable us for the Zoho Creator user to trigger some workflow related to that particular log actually. So that is what it is able to do. So you can see here I have actually manually gone there, put my palm over that particular device, and since my palm was moist, it has actually increased the humidity, and you will be able to see on real time that it is shooting the humidity level, and it has crossed the 45. And when I'm playing sound, you will be able to see, or in the video as well, you will be able to see that when it went beyond 45, it has actually turned on the buzzer, and it has actually turned on the sound which is coming out of that particular. And once that is happening, at the same time, it has actually shooted an email that the threshold has crossed. And that particular email is instantaneously shooted whenever that particular threshold is being crossing, and you'll receive something like this particular email containing the detail of the latest value which it is having, as well as it will shoot a notification within Zoho Creator application actually. And it is doing the same when the threshold is coming back, means the reading is coming back to the threshold. Now the humidity was 37, it went beyond, means below 45, it shooted that particular email once again, and you can see that threshold has been recovered here. And you can see that particular notification inside Creator as well. And what actually it is doing is, whenever it is actually reading that particular latest value and crossing the threshold, it is actually calling or pushing the data inside Creator as a log, which I'll show just here. So these are the log actually. Whenever something like that particular event is happening, it is creating a log here inside Creator, and that particular thing is actually shooting the email which I have shown you. So once a log is created, you can control the entire workflow which you want. For example, temperature related to a particular machine went beyond a particular threshold, and you want a certain task to be created within your Creator, and if it is actually hampering a particular production line, you should be able to put a red flag against that particular production line which is stored inside Creator. You can do something with the work order which are stored inside Creator. All that particular thing you will be able to do on real-time basis, since you are having a bridge between your IoT device and your Zoho Creator application, or the custom ERP application which you have built on Zoho Creator actually. So that was the main purpose of this widget, to provide a bridge between your ERP system and your IoT devices, so that they can communicate with each other and solve a bigger problem in manufacturing industry, and hence leverage the Creator use in the manufacturing industry more and more. This is what the IQ IoT widget is providing actually. Let me know if you have any specific question to IQ IoT. Yes, correct. Can also be used in server rooms and DCs and all that. Something you can also control the door of your office if it is being connected to an IoT device. If your a home application is totally connected to IoT device, you can actually control that directly from your CRM application or Creator application. Many use cases and application becomes very easy from this particular perspective actually. I have shown you three widgets till now: IQ Chat, POS, IoT, and Kanban was also the part of this. What was the behind the scene about all the widgets which we have developed? The common practice or the common formula which uses in all of the widget, and I'm sure the other partner which are creating kick-ass widgets are also using something similar actually. It starts with the problem. The most important thing is problem which you're trying to solve, or the missing feature which you are trying to implement within Creator. or within any particular tool actually. So the problem actually derives the scope for what application, the web application is needed, which will be solving that particular problem, or that will be building that particular missing feature actually. So that thing is the web application which you will be building, and the most important thing which is needed to build that particular web application is the JavaScript framework, which has a crucial weightage in building a complex widget like this, which we have shown actually. Even use any kind of framework. I think Jeremy has shown us building widgets on React in some of the cases. I think Mike, I'm aware of, does use Vue. I've seen some of his work on GitHub actually. Likewise, you have to use a particular web framework, a JavaScript framework, so that you can scale your application when it gets complicated, and that is the best way to go, to use a JavaScript framework actually. And that particular web app which you will be building will be using Zoho Creator JavaScript SDK along with the Creator, which will help you to extract the data from Creator and push the data back to Creator. And in certain cases, in most of the cases, you will be able to build the widget or the app directly from this particular tool, directly from this particular combination. But in certain cases, you have to use some kind of third-party library. Like in case of IQ Chat, we have used our own chat engine or something like that. So a third-party library is needed to implement something which is actually not available inside Creator, and which was not possible just by using this two combination. The third-party library can be another JavaScript SDK which is solving that particular purpose. It can be a database, third-party API which you have built, your own database, something like this. And the whole combination, it actually gives you the magic bundle which can use to create a highly scalable widget. Just an example I'll give you for the IQ Kanban widget which I have shown here. The problem was the card was limited, it was not fast, the real-time, the tagging was not real-time, and all that kind of thing. So here we were able to solve that particular thing by building a custom task management application on Vue.js, just Vue.js and the Zoho Creator SDK. So it's just using the SDK to fetch the data from Creator, the task-related data, and render it in a custom way, and implemented the task management, the sub-task management, segmentation, and all that kind of thing within Kanban, using just this particular combination actually. All right. In case of IQ Chat, we needed the third party, the chat engine, to make the chat work actually. So for that particular case, we used our own chat engine, which was powering the front end for both the client side and the inside eventually, and using Zoho Creator SDK to fetch data from Creator regarding customer and all that kind of thing. And eventually the whole package was being used inside IQ Chat. So this was the general idea behind the scene for the tools which we have built on Zoho Creator. Let me show you the importance of JavaScript framework, why it is used, why it is crucial to make more scalable applications. I'll just show you an example of simple widget which you can see here. This is a widget which is just listing the records. It has a button to add a new record. It has a button to delete the records and all that. When you add a new record, it just opens a model and you to submit width and height related to a particular measurement. All right. To do that in a vanilla JavaScript, you have to do all that particular thing. First of all, the HTML will be almost the same. It has the button, the top section, and the form section. The important thing which is the difference here is the show output function. If you look into the JavaScript section, once you initialize that particular widget using the Zoho Creator.init function, then the widget get initialized, and once it is initialized, it will fetch the records from the get records function. And that get record function is just fetching the record from database, but every time whenever you have to update the or render that particular thing on your document, you have to use the show output function. And it will act as a render function inside your document actually, and that is the thing which makes which get more complicated as as your app and requirement gets more complicated actually. So if you'll see this in action, you'll be able to see that the get record is just fetching that particular record and directly passing that particular data to the show output function. Here we have to manually build the whole code which has to be rendered there. And once it is run, and for submitting case, when a new record has to be submitted, once the submitting is done, we have to call the get record once again. Now just compare that with JavaScript framework. The whole thing is actually converted into a single view component, and the most magical thing here is binding the data with your UI, which is very, very, very straightforward and simple. That is what makes it scalable, because once your record, which where you will be storing all the records after getting the records, that particular record list or record array is directly binded with your output in the table. So whenever something happening to the record, you don't have to again do anything to render that particular update. The JavaScript framework will actually handle that automatically on behalf of you. Things like that actually makes things more efficient. You can break the whole code into multiple components. You can apply a particular functionality within that particular component. So likewise, using the standard software development norms, you will be able to achieve the complicated things in a very simpler way. That is why a JavaScript framework is very, very important in this particular to implement a scalable and professional widget. Actually, there are certain limits which we will be actually covering out while building a Zoho Creator widget. The first one is actually whoever is using widget might know about this, that the JavaScript SDK doesn't work on published pages. So for example, you are having a widget which you have embedded inside a Creator page, and you have published that particular page. And if that particular widget is using your JavaScript SDK to fetch data from Creator, then it will not work, because the widget, the JavaScript SDK actually uses the user login to authenticate itself, and then actually execute the rest of the code. And on published pages, that authentication will not happen, and that is why the widget will not run. It doesn't mean that JavaScript will not run. If your widget is just purely built on JavaScript, it is not using the JavaScript SDK of Zoho Creator to interact with Creator, and using some another third party or something like that, you're in that particular case, the widget will run. Just the things to mention is the JavaScript SDK won't run on published pages actually. The next thing is it is not best for dynamic KPI generation. In sense, in Creator, if we have to fetch some particular KPI, some key performance indicator figure, like total expenses, total sales this particular month or something like that, for that particular purpose, what we do is we directly make a query using Deluge. We make a query, we pass the criteria, and we aggregate that particular thing in within that query by doing some count or average or something like that, and it gives all the thing which we need in a single query actually. In here, we can't do that because we don't have the aggregation functions available inside Zoho Creator SDK. I don't know if how soon they will be available, but till now, what we have to do is, if we are having some sales data or some expenses data in a particular table, and you have to fetch that particular thing and show the count here, something like that. You have to actually call the get record multiple times until you fetch all the record matching that particular criteria, and then run through it, total it, or run a count of it, and then render it here. So that is not the efficient way of doing that. Eventually, you should actually avoid showing the KPIs in that particular manner. There are workaround which is available for this particular thing. The normal one is, the direct one is, you can directly use the Creator. That particular part you can actually build on pages and use Deluge to fetch that particular data and show that here. The another way is, actually what you can do is you can store the KPI in a particular form. in a different module inside Creator. And whenever this widget is loading, you just fetch that particular KPI from that module and show it here. So that will actually, simplify the process and make this thing in a single API call. So that was the main point I wanted to make, that dynamic aggregation function is not available actually. The last thing, the JavaScript SDK API actually calls are limited by user permission. So what it means is it doesn't fetches data from table, but it fetches the data from report. Because if you'll see in the documentation, you have to pass the report name against that get record feature, get record function to fetch that particular data from that particular report. So if a particular, if you have built that widget and shared it with the user, and that user doesn't have the permission to access that report, the widget won't work. It will show the permission issues or something like that actually. So you have to make sure while building a widget, if it will be used for multiple users, that you either provide the access to that particular report or toggle the report based on the user profile which you are having. Yeah. So that was the presentation for most of the thing. This is the last widget which will be showing, which is the IQ Assistant widget actually, and what it can do. And eventually we'll be sharing the link for this particular thing to sign up if you're interested. All right. So what IQ Assistant is really is, it is a ChatGPT powered voice assistant for business apps built on Zoho Creator. So in short, you can directly talk to that particular assistant within your Creator, and it will talk you back with the answers by searching it from GPT. And it can also, be very powerful when it is there inside the Creator contact. Actually, some of the feature are voice-based searching. You can directly, talk to him and find information on web, or find information from the GPT instead of going to the Chat GPT and finding the information there. Whatever the reply you're getting, you can directly save it here inside CRM. You can do powerful analytics since you have the access to the JavaScript SDK. What you can do is you can fetch the data from your Creator app and get GPT to analyze that particular data and answer a few questions on top of it. Actually, it can help you in similar manner. It can help you prepare an effective email. For example, you want to create a sales negotiation email using that particular thing. You can do that, and in a single click, you can send that email directly from here. Right. So that is the main feature of IQ Assistant, which we'll be showing here. Yeah. So once you have seen that particular widget, or whatever widget you have seen till now, if you are if you see potential in any of your widget, it can be used in your client app or your app, which can solve a particular purpose. Please, let us know. And we have actually planned beta access for this particular app as well, which we will release soon. So if you want to try out that particular beta access, you can just scan this particular code, or I'll also share the link here, which you can actually go through and submit your details there actually. Right. Regarding the demo, let me know if I should actually go ahead and provide directly here. So this is the IQ Assistant widget, which is placed inside Zoho Creator. Let's take its help in finding some information. Hey, do you know all the competitors of WhatsApp?
Yes, there are many messaging apps that compete with WhatsApp. Some of the well-known competitors.
Can you also list their size and capitalization?
Sure. Here's a quick overview of the size and capitalization of the messaging apps I mentioned earlier. 1. Telegram. Over 500 million downloads on Google Play Store. Private company not disclosing capitalization. 2. Signal. Over 50 million installs on.
So you'll see, if you find this particular information useful, you can just save this data into your CRM just by clicking on save, and it will show you the modules from your Creator app. You can configure the module from setting as well. You can also email this data to a particular colleague just from the email button, and it will show you the staff module which you have configured directly from the settings. So let's do some analysis using this. We are having some leads with the sector, deal size, and staff. Let's do what it can help with. Hey, can you help me with some data?
Of course, I can help you with your data need.
We are having some the lead modules directly, which were you can configure the modules which you want to upload directly from the settings. These are the modules which you have taken from Creator actually. So we'll choose the lead module and provide the data.
It looks like you have provided a JSON data string. This is a
So can you list the unique sets of sector we are having here?
Yes, I can help you with that. Based on the data you have.
Oh, we are having real estate average. Please also list the total deal size of them.
Certainly. Here is a summary of the total deal size for each sector in your data. Real estate, 700.
Cool. So if you want to share this data with one of our colleagues, let's create an emailer for this particular thing. Thanks. Can you enclose this data in an emailer and make it nice looking formatted?
Sure, I can help you with that. Is there a specific format you would like the email to be in, such as a table or bullet points? Do you have any preferences for the design or color scheme?
Yeah, make it tabular and choose the color as blue.
Certainly. Here's an example email formatted with HTML, including a table to present the data. Exclamation point doc type HTML. HTML.
Ooh, so if you want to share this information as an email to your managers like that, you can just click on the email button and search the stars from the email list and click on the send button and it will eventually email this particular person. This is what you can do from the aggregation perspective. If you want to try that particular widget which we have built or any particular widget which you are interested in, you can scan this particular QR code. I'll also provide the link in the chat as well. And from there, whenever we release the beta access, you'll be able to, we'll send an invite and you will be able to use that within your Creator application actually. So that was our last slide. We can go through the questions which you have had. So I see Kamal Tiwari is having, is there any limitation of how much data we can send to GPD to analyze data? Thank you, Rija. Yeah, Kamal, that is a very valid question. Your API has a limit of tokens. In a particular conversation, you can actually send some particular number of tokens. So some particular words become a token and you have a limit of certain tokens actually while calling an API. So you are bounded with that particular limit actually. So it is best for sending a single record or a limited record and then preparing something out of it instead of sending the whole 200 400 records to them. That is not mostly, it can support, means it is possible, but it will actually consume a lot of tokens from your side. Cool. I think I see a question related to Stack, right? So we personally use Vue.js and Stack related Vue.js. I think you can use anything. React, Vue, Angular, Svelte is also getting popular nowadays. And this was just to show you, this particular session was just to show the potential of Creator, JavaScript inside Creator. And I think the in detail session, Jeremy has already covered regarding React. This also kind of work in a similar fashion, but certain things are different, but works in a similar fashion in Vue for Creator as well. But if you are interested in diving this into more deeper, then you can let Janki know, and we can plan something more specific for developer sessions in near future actually. Thank you, Mr. Webworks.